Hello again. This go round, it's going to be a general technique illustrated on a single pipe, but it'll apply to any stem you want to fix that's made of rubber or vulcanite or ebonite, sometimes people call it. Now this particular piece is a Dunhill from 1976, which was not a good period for the brand for a number of reasons that I'll go into later. I've got another 1976 pipe over here as well that's going to be a really fun project. It's a little drawn out, so I've been putting it off till I got time to do that kind of thing. But anyway, in our future, there is this guy, which is going to be lots of fun. Okay, this next thing is very commonly encountered and rarely is fixed properly. A lot of people are convinced that it can't even be fixed properly. But I've been doing what I'm going to show you here in a minute for a long time and have yet to have a failure. And most of it is the secrets in the ingredients and how they're applied. If you just tell somebody a single sentence what you do, that wouldn't be enough to go on. So anyway, what I'm talking about is when you're missing a significant chunk of the button, or often the actual surface here, like there might be a really deep dent, like a pointed tooth or something that dug a spot right there. There's actually kind of a deep spot here, which we'll take care of at the same time. But in this case, there's nothing you can do other than put material back in, add to. This has already been heated in a hot air gun to expand it as much as it's going to go. So either we just clean it up as is and accept the fact that there's a chunk of rubber missing there, or not. We fix it in a much cooler way. Now, on our side is the fact that this was made in 1976. It measures 1.85 inches, 0.185 inches thickness right behind the button. And that's after having some material gone. It was over 190, I'm sure, when it was sold. And that is not cool, so to speak. Dunhill did much better before this period, and it's done better since, but they had cost accountants kind of pushing them along in the 70s, and they did a quick and dirty on a lot of their work. Another thing you can see here, this shank should be parallel, and it's actually quite conical starting right there. In fact, it's a factory stain, and you can even see that where they leveled the stem is a slightly different color than the main body of the pipe, which normally you'd expect to find that with a bad repair restem, but in this case that's actually the way it came out of the factory. So we'll take care of all that at another time. Right now we're going to hang on to just this fixing or adding material to rubber stems. So I'm going to go down show you a list of the stuff that you're going to need, and then I'll shut the camera off and actually start doing stuff here in a minute. Now here's something you've heard me mention before. It's worth mentioning again. It's the best stuff on the planet for many applications. It's West Systems G-Flex Epoxy, and this is the so-called 655 blend. Or you notice it says thickened, and that is absolutely the one you want. It's gluey kind of as opposed to runny, and the real design purpose for this is fiberglass boat hulls, where they would patch them, and the boat will actually flex slightly as it bounces through the water, and it has to be able to bend a little bit. And you're thinking, wait a minute, I don't want to grab a pipe in my mouth and have it feel like I'm chewing on an eraser, like gummy. And no, that's not how soft it is. When they say flexible, it's at a molecular level, which as opposed to, let's say, glass, which has no deflection at all, really, most of the time. Most types of glass don't. It just snaps. Well, this stuff doesn't snap. It's good stuff. But it's kind of a puke color by itself, and we don't need that on a stem. So the same, no, it's not the same people. This is System 3 as opposed to West System, but they're the Jack and Jill of the American epoxy trade. Now this is nasty stuff in the handling department. There's nothing, it's just a pigment. Why? It's designed to be mixed with epoxy in very small amounts. It doesn't take much at all. When I say nasty, I mean you cannot avoid getting this crap everywhere because they put it, what Brain Trust decided to put a liquid in a jar as opposed to a squeeze bottle. I don't know, but they did, and we got to live with it. And there's no substitute that I know of. Anyhow, this is the stuff. I'll hold it close here. System 3. Well, you can read it yourself. 2 ounces. As I recall, it's not expensive, and you don't need but a jar every 200 or 300 years. It's just you only use a drop at a time. So we'll need that. Our handy dandy popsicle sticks and related. Something to mix the epoxy on. Now, the last time I mixed something up, I said water glass, do it on plastic so it doesn't get absorbed. This doesn't work that way. This is just an ordinary envelope. I get them by the huge carton at Costco and use them for all kinds of stuff. So that's good. And now here's this next one is the secret ingredient. Most people have never seen one of these. I hadn't until stumbling across it. And you think, what in the world is that? It looks like a cross between a bathroom, or rather a kitchen sponge, a sea creature, and a sanding tool. And it is a burr that is designed to go into a Fordham type of rotary tool. And I can't really quite tell what's going on here. I've looked at it under high magnification, and I don't know if there's little bits of diamond on the ends of that or just what's going on there, but it is much sharper than it looks. If you push it across a thumbnail or something, it catches and scratches. It's a very aggressive thing. And I don't recall if it comes in different shank sizes and diameters, but you don't need, I would get one that is about the size of this. It looks like the textured area is about 1 inch long, and you want the rounded tip on it. That's absolutely essential. And you've heard me also mention before the type of tool that you use in the Fordham world, or the whatever the other company is, I can't remember, Dremel tool world. They're either high speed or low speed, and they don't even overlap. One stays down in the slow country and the other one revs up and makes a dental drill sound. Well, this next job we're going to do right here, it needs to be very slow indeed. It's got to be almost, you can count the revolutions, not quite literally, but close to it. Because if you got this thing spinning up to any significant speed and touched rubber with it, it would just zip, it'd probably shoot off on you, because it would, like a tire on a drag strip, but it would also cut a trench. It would happen. But if you slow it way down, it does magic. And it's essential to having a properly prepared surface for the epoxy to grab. And that's where all of this is vital. Or knowing how to apply it is vital, because nothing is worse than going to all this trouble with these different glues that people use and putting it in your mouth, and you hear a little snap sound, a tiny little click, and you catch a chunk of stuff that just fell off because it didn't adhere enough. Because when you bite it with your teeth, which have quite a lot of pounds per square inch happening, and it just snaps right off. And you want something that's going to stay on there for the life of the pipe. Well, I've been doing this for a long time, exactly the way I'm going to show you. And I have yet, in all that time, to have a single failure reported back to me by the people that I've done the work for. So there we go. I'm going to mix up some epoxy and we'll carry on from there.